This is KGW News at 5.
We begin tonight with a live look outside our Wells Fargo Skycam overlooking downtown Portland. Today, we flirted with 90 degrees. Thanks for joining us. I'm Blair Best. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is here with the latest on this beautiful weather that we're having. Joe?
It's absolutely stunning. I don't care how you describe it. We're looking at temperatures in the mid-80s for your daytime highs for late April. You know it's a good day, and what makes it better is that it's on a Saturday. Finally seeing this warm weather stretch over into the last weekend of April. Right now, we're looking at a temperature of 83 degrees, nothing but crystal clear skies throughout the metro area and really up and down the I-5 corridor. We're looking at highs so far right around 85 degrees, Troutdale 84 degrees. Blair, this is the third day in a row with temperatures 80 or above. Came very close to seeing record-breaking temperatures for the second day in a row. We got close to 90 yesterday. Well, the record for this afternoon is 87, but we'll take 85. Over in McMinnville, a little bit cooler the farther south you went, and now we're starting to see some changes move on shore along the Oregon coast. Over in Lincoln City, you're looking at a temperature this hour of 55 degrees, and if the coast are seeing these clouds right now, well, you know what's on our way. These clouds will start to increase later on tonight and into tomorrow. Over in Newport, you're looking at a temperature right now of 50 degrees, and temperatures here locally right now are in the upper 70s to low 80s. 76 in Happy Valley. Scappoose, you're seeing a temperature of 81 degrees. Along the east side of the state, just as nice with temperatures at this hour over in the low 80s. Over in Burns, John Day, a temperature of 82 degrees. So the last 3 days, temperatures were 80 or above. Now heading into tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit cooler by about 20 degrees or so. It will be mainly dry, and I'll talk more about what we can expect to see heading into the first week of May in about 10-15 minutes from now.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. Well, chances are you spent part of your weekend outside. And when it comes to outdoor dining, the city of Portland says restaurants can still use street space for their tables and chairs. But there's a catch. It's no longer free. Catherine Cook shows us what else is changing.
Ooh, this is the kids' quesadilla.
On Southeast 31st and Division, there's a special reunion unfolding between people and the sun.
And I've been amazed how many people have been out eating outside today.
Since the pandemic, there have been more outdoor spaces to do that in, and they've stuck around.
And I think it's a great thing. I think the more that we can have people out on the streets and using the space is wonderful.
Back in 2020, the city started issuing healthy business permits. They allowed restaurants to turn side streets like this one into dining plazas, or take up 1 or 2 parking spots to set up dining platforms.
Through the pandemic, we felt very fortunate to be able to have this big outside area. Post now that it's over, it's a huge relief.
Alex Cornella owns the Imperial Bottle Shop and Tap Room. For him, the street plaza was the way to go. For 2 years, the extra space was free, but no longer. Starting in September, the city began charging $3.13 per square foot for dining plaza permits.
It's absolutely going to be worth it for us. I mean, it's definitely, we're still able to have all this seating and generate money from it.
For street parking platforms, it's now $500 for 1 space and $1,000 for 2. Permits are good through the end of the year.
We're trying to make this a sustainable program for the long term.
PBOT's Dylan Rivera says the city had been paying for the street dining program with federal COVID relief funds. Besides covering costs, PBOT is also designing new permanent rules for street seating. They'll focus on safety, making sure the installations don't block line of sight for drivers or people on foot.
Definitely there's some that are not permitted, so yeah, so that's cause for concern. We've started conversations with many of these businesses, and we're starting with education, just letting them know what the rules are, answering questions, that sort of thing.
Restaurant owners are weighing in. Some would like to see seasonal permits rather than having to pay for a full year. And Alex says spreading the payments out would also help.
The one sort of challenging thing about it is that they are, asking people to pay that fee 1 time per year. And so they're hitting a lot of businesses post-pandemic when they don't have a lot of money available.
The city is grateful for the feedback, and people out here are grateful for the sun. Hard to believe we've taken 3 trips around it since all of this started.
Well, after collecting enough feedback, PBOT plans to give completed guidelines to City Council for approval. They say around 1,000 businesses have at some point taken advantage of the outdoor seating program. To learn more or to apply for a permit, just head to our story at kgw.com. Well, developing tonight, Portland Fire and Rescue are putting out a fire at an apartment complex in Northeast Portland. This is video of the scene, which started around 3:15 this afternoon on Northeast Knott Street. Portland Fire tweeted that they found heavy fire in the attic. No word yet on injuries or how it started. Well, let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. One man is dead after a shooting in Portland's Northwest District. Officers responded to the scene at Northwest 17th and Irving at around 11:30 last night. They found two victims, a man and a woman. Medics say the woman's injuries are not life-threatening. However, the man died at the scene. This is the 26th homicide in Portland this year. There's been another major fentanyl bust in Oregon. State troopers seized all these drugs during a traffic stop on I-5 in Salem. The 11.5 pounds of powder is equal to roughly 3.5 million lethal doses of fentanyl. Troopers also found 4 pounds of meth, 1,000 suspected fentanyl pills, and a little bit of cocaine. The driver is now in federal custody. And did you see what was happening at the Hawthorne Bridge today? Hollywood has been taking over a couple of lanes for a movie called Little Wing. 2 lanes of the bridge will be closed until early Sunday. Flaggers will be out directing traffic. Well, another theater opens today in downtown Portland. The Northwest Children's Theater has a new home right across the street from the Schnitz. Alma McCarty spoke with families and performers who call the space and location ideal.
Even on a sunny day, downtown Portland's reputation is often cast in a negative light. But while some may be moving out, others are moving in.
This has been many years in the making, and we're so excited to be here.
Shining a spotlight on the good in downtown, a new children's theater taking center stage.
The Judy Kafori Center for Youth Arts today. Northwest Children's Theater has been a pillar of the community for 30 years. Our old home was in Northwest Portland, and we are so excited to be bringing this new space downtown Portland for kids and families of all ages.
Known as the Judy, Rachel Brown explains the new location has a lot to offer.
In addition to our main stage shows where kids can see some of their favorite children's books come to life, we also have classes and camps where kids can experience theater for themselves.
Want to come to see it again? I heard there's Cinderella coming up. You want to go see Cinderella?
Cecilia Cruz and mom Hannah attended a sold-out show alongside dozens of other families.
I mean, the previous location was great, but just a little far away, and now you're just kind of downtown in the center of it, and really nice theater and black box and studios, classes. We're going to be back this summer.
An open house Saturday helped drum up excitement for what's to come for audiences and performers alike.
I started doing things at NWCT when I was 7 or around there. I took my first ever acting class at NWCT, and it was so much fun. It was a really good introduction to theater, and I love the community here.
Maxine Nuesa is taking part in the upcoming show Cinderella.
I'm playing one of the evil stepsisters. Her name is Patrice. We get to do a bunch of silly things on stage. We have a whole duet and everything, and it's super fun.
She believes the multi-venue arts center will lead to bigger and better things for children interested in all things theater in and around Portland.
And it's so cool, being here and also looking at the other signs and shows that are also happening around the area. I think it just shows that people who go to NWCT might even be a part of something bigger one day.
Yeah, this Saturday alone, Brown estimates that there were about 1,000 people between the 2 sold-out shows and an open house, once again bringing all of those people back downtown. And from what I could tell from speaking with them, many families plan to come back frequently. Cinderella opens next Friday. We'll have more information on how you can secure tickets for this and other shows on KGW.com. Blair?
Alma, thank you. Well, today people came out to Northeast Portland not just for the warm weather, but to celebrate a part of Asian culture that isn't always showcased. Take a look at the annual New Year in the Park event. It celebrates Southeast Asian New Year, which generally follows the Buddhist calendar and includes countries like Cambodia, Thai, and Myanmar, and happens every year on the last Saturday in April. Now, organizers say they're glad to be a voice for a part of Portland's diverse community.
It's about representation, right? So you hear of other New Years, but you don't really hear of Southeast Asian New Year. So we want to be able to represent, we want to show out, and we want people to know our culture and our history.
Well, people also got to enjoy some great cultural dance performances and the chance to get some products inspired by Southeast Asia. Well, it was a great day for a parade, and that's what people did in Southeast Portland as part of the 82nd Avenue of Roses Parade, which celebrates the diversity and sense of community of the area. Now, people got to watch everything from a marching band, clowns, and kids from all over. We talked to one neighbor who says this is a time-honored tradition for their family.
Been bringing all the kids since they were very little, and now we're bringing the second generation.
The parade went from Eastport Plaza at Bush Street through 82nd Avenue, ending on Yamhill Street in the Montevilla neighborhood. Well, coming up at 5, a hero at just 13 years old. Meet the middle schooler who helped save his classmates when the bus driver passed out. And tragedy in Texas. What investigators know about the man they say started shooting at his neighbors. Welcome back. In national news, a horrific scene in Texas has left 5 people dead, one of which was just 8 years old. County sheriffs say the suspect is still on the loose and has been identified as 38-year-old Francisco Oropeza. Investigators say the suspect was firing off his rifle in his yard last night. His neighbors asked him to stop so their baby could sleep. Police believe the suspect then turned the gun on his neighbors. Investigators found 4 of the victims dead inside the home, while the child died at the hospital. 2 juveniles were taken to the hospital but were not hurt. Now, this is a developing story, and we'll update you when more information comes in. Well, caught on camera, miraculous video out of the Midwest. A Michigan 7th grader is being called a hero for jumping into action when his school bus driver passed out. The heart-pounding moments all caught on camera. NBC's Kristen Dahlgren reports.
It could easily have been disaster. Surveillance video capturing the moment a Michigan bus driver radios in that she's not feeling well. She starts to slow down, but passes out as the bus rolls toward oncoming traffic. That's when 13-year-old Dylan Reeves jumps into action, pushing the brake and steering the bus and 65 of his fellow students to a safe stop.
You would think in the middle of this panic, you would just jump on the brake he had the wherewithal to push it slowly, likely in anticipation that the bus was full of passengers.
The 7th grader stays in control.
Someone call 911 now.
In my 35 plus years of education, this was an extraordinary act of courage and maturity on his part.
As Dylan was honored at his middle school, his parents said they're not surprised.
He's been on my lap, driving country roads, pulling in driveways since about 4 years old.
To do something like this just fills my heart. It makes my heart skip a beat. I'm extremely proud of him.
The bus driver still not identified, but tonight undoubtedly grateful to the brave young student who stepped in to save the day. Kristen Dahlgren, NBC News.